Raise time. Raise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Friday, the 10th day of April 2026, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road, because the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, whichever is applicable. And to remind you that the For the Record birthday shoutouts brought to you by Coca-Cola and the Credit Union. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. From generation to generation, Coca-Cola still a Cayman classic. And the Credit Union. The Credit Union looks forward to serving the Cayman community for the next 50 years and beyond. Now, during the show, at opportune times, we will give some birthday shout-outs, but what we're going to do this morning, we do have guests in the studio, and it's a very, very important topic that we will be talking about. So it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Minister for District Administration and Home Affairs, the Honorable Nickolas DaCosta, the Acting Director for the Department of Public Safety and Communications, Mr. Sean Vazquez, Miss Monique Dennis, who's a telecommunicator, and Mr. Orville Mattis, who's also a telecommunicator. Folks, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Thank you very much for having us.
Okay, and Minister, tell us and our listening and viewing audience why we're here this morning, what we're going to be talking about, the important work that this particular department does as well.
Sure, OC. Thank you very much, and good morning again to everyone that's listening. So the Department of Public Safety Communications, which is known here in Cayman as 911, we are celebrating Telecommunicators Week and celebrating all of the work that our telecommunicators do behind the phones, behind the desks at DPSC. You know, it's some of the most critical work, the important work, the very first responders, but quite often unseen. We hear the voices, we know that they're always there to answer, but we never see the faces or truly understand the magnitude and gravity of everything that they do. So this entire week was celebrating and showing appreciation and gratitude for all of our telecommunicators at DPSC. But also today now we have the opportunity of speaking a little bit more about the behind the scenes work, everything that a telecommunicator does, the important work that DPSC continues to provide for the country, the critical link between all emergency responders. So that's why we're here today. We have two amazing telecommunicators from the team. I just learned, of course, that Miss Monique just got off her night shift. So
Wow.
she's dedicated. She's here not only to serve the public at night, but then here this morning to educate the public as well. So I thank her and thank Orville for joining us, and of course the acting director for being here.
Okay, Mr. Acting Director, over to you, sir. Good morning.
Hi, morning. It really is a very big deal in terms of how we're looking to acknowledge and just show the recognition for our teams. Thank you, Minister, for those comments as well. So for Telecommunicators Week, it is really and truly about the telecommunicator, the 911, and these guys do such an amazing job in terms of how they act as the bridge for the community, leading to our first responders. So a lot of what they do, people don't realize that they really are like the first point of impact and contact when you're calling them on your worst day. So they take the brunt of that hit in terms of the anxiousness, the anxiety, the fear, everything that's taking over a caller at the time. And they do a great job in terms of just being a hybrid, something that is really not found in almost any other region. They're both a call taker and a dispatcher at the same time. Mm-hmm. So a lot of that trauma-informed and being in that trauma-rich environment, you really have to have a special acumen and personality about you to be that patient, to be able to take that level of, anxiety and to save that life, to be able to dispatch and to extract that information from the caller, to be able to dispatch not just accurately, but smartly and with, professionalism.
Okay, so let's hear from the actors themselves, and we're going to start with Ms. Dennis. I don't believe she needs anything to keep her awake this morning in the studio, but we're going to start with her first and tell us about her role and what drove her to become a telecommunicator.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's Monique Dennis Hunter, actually recently married.
Okay.
No, congratulations.
Thank you. I am a telecommunicator 1. We have telecommunicator 2s, 1 supervisors. This puts me in a unique position because from time to time I get to act periodically in the position of a supervisor, which means I have to manage the center while managing emergency situations. What we find often when persons call in, they often think that we know exactly where they are. Mm-hmm. We can get this information, but that is delayed. The best thing for someone to do is to give us the information that they're at, the best location. So if they even don't know where they're at, they could give us maybe a building name, a street name, a school name, a church name. That's the most critical piece of information, because once we know where the emergency is at, we can get help started. And as we go along, we will explain further in regards to some of the misconceptions that the public have, because we're here to clear most of them this morning.
Okay, and Mr. Mattis, Mr. Orville Mattis, also a telecommunicator. Tell us about your role and why you decided to join the Department of Public Safety Communications.
Okay, good morning, and thank you for having us. So my role as a telecommunicator, our role is to process the calls, and dispatch. We have the opportunity to provide reassurance, comfort, be the voice of command in a chaotic situation when the emotions are heightened, and just allowing the person on the other line to know that we are here to assist them in any way that we possibly can, and help will be sent to assist you with what it is that you require. And for me, engaging in such a vital role or position at the department and in society is because of my care. It's an indwelling. It's of nature, and I love to serve not just my friends or family, but people at large, because I think serving is optimum to allow someone to feel valuable or validated within just themselves. And I think so that's one of my main reasons of being here.
Thank you very much for that. So let's talk about Telecommunications Week and what will be done during that week. making in terms of talking about the role of the 911 operators, the increased public awareness that you're going to embark on as well?
Sure. So what I would really want to kind of highlight and reinforce is that we are the only public safety answering point within the 3 islands, commonly known as PSAPs. Within that, we have so many other ancillaries of technology that we have access to that the telecommunicators are able to utilize and leverage when they're taking a 911 call. So under the Department of Public Safety Communications, as Minister said, we have the National CCTV program, we have the Electronic Monitoring of Offenders program, and we have the National Public Safety Radio program embedded along with 911, as well as us being the focal point for the tsunami watch as well. So these guys are multitasking between 6 to 7 screens at any one time, being able to manage the radio for the first responders, taking a call at the same time, inputting that onto the screen, and doing that dispatch while still taking that call. So a lot of times, as Ms. Monique was saying, one of the misconceptions is we know that when you're calling us, it's probably on one of your worst days, whether that be a traffic accident or some sort of domestic or an assault in some way. So the anxiousness is at an all-time high for the caller. A lot of times, why are you taking so long? Why aren't you sending help? Why do I have to answer all these questions? When in fact, Mr. Orville, who's the call taker, his partner, Ms. Monique, is seeing the exact screen that he's uploading that information to, and she's doing that dispatch as well too. So help is already on the way, but our job is to make sure that we get as much critical information as we can during that time. So on TV, you'll hear 911, what's your emergency? No, it's actually 911, where is your emergency? So once we get that location, that is the absolute vital key for us, so that we might know what exactly is happening, but we'll know where to send help to at least whether it be a first responder or another agency to be able to respond to that. So that for us is one of the key highlights that we want to be able to engage with the public on and help them to be sensitized that we're trying to move from a do you not know where Miss Mary's shop is on the corner of Mary Street to being sensitized and understanding what your house numbers are and giving accurate locations.
And, it's funny you should say that, because I remember when street numbering was introduced, especially in Kimmenbrack, because growing up in Kimmenbrack, even after street numbering was introduced or 911 was introduced, we were still used to, if we had an emergency for the hospital, we would call 948-2243. If we had an emergency for fire service, we would call their number. Police station, same thing. We weren't used to calling 911. And of course, then you got to the point where it was being required that you call 911. And no one knew their house number. I mean, I remember calling one time and my house number had changed 3 times.
Wow.
And that is where the calmness and chaos from our telecommunicators come in play, because I can recall this as a older teenager calling 911, because that's what was required at that point then, and not knowing what my correct house number was, getting upset with the telecommunicator because I was like, you don't know where my house is? Like, just tell them that I am right down the road from so-and-so, across the tree from the bay. And it was, so we're getting to that stage now where it's critically important that you observe your awareness, or you have awareness for your surroundings. So as the acting director said, even if you don't know your house number or your number that you're at, you can identify something around you to communicate to the telecommunicators, because they also use the cameras to assist.
Great. So, folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the acting director, spoke about staffing, and I want you to advise our listeners and our viewers in terms of what your staffing levels are at, and then maybe the minister can talk about funding as well, where you're at, in terms of funding and technology, where you want to go or where you plan on going as well. So, folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series. Brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
By 1897, Grand Cayman had established several schools across the island. While Mr. McTaggart's Georgetown School catered to boys, Georgetown also had a private school exclusively for girls, which was taught by Miss McDermott. Miss McDermott's brother, Thomas, taught at the Presbyterian Chapel in West Bay. Other sizable schools included Bodden Town and the school in East End, which was taught by Caymanian teacher Mr. Connolly and housed close to 80 students. Following a survey of Grand Cayman in 1887, the surveyor, Lawrence Fife, would offer specific praise for Mr. McTaggart's Georgetown School and Mr. McDermott's school in West Bay.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Saturday, April 18th, will be the gathering of the future. The gathering of budding scientists, budding botanists, budding engineers, budding medical specialists, marine biologists, systems architects, and much, much more. The Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair will be at the Arc Commander Bay, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. The gathering of the future. Students from over 15 schools across Cayman. Save the date, April 18th. The Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair, sponsored by CUC, supported by the Cayman Motor Federation. Sign up today. RotaryScienceFair.ky. The future is sparking.
When you join the credit union, you're not just a customer. You're a member owner with one equal vote. As we celebrate 50 years, our members continue to share the benefits. Enjoy strong dividends on shares, competitive loan rates, and the lowest lending fees on the market. Plus, we're the only lender returning up to 2% of loan interest to our members every year. For 50 years, we've helped Caymanians save, borrow, and build brighter futures. That's the credit union difference. Visit creditunion.ky to learn more.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
Yeah, let me tell you, no AC when I was a boy. I still remember just how good an ice-cold Coca-Cola was.
The part is, the coolest moms and dads always had Coca-Cola or parties.
The sound when you pop the top, and the fizzle, and that, after that first sip.
Coca-Cola, from generation to generation, that ice-cold bubbly. Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Spring forward and save 20% on GE appliances. All throughout the month of April, enjoy 20% savings on GE appliances across a wide range of categories. Washers and dryers, refrigerators, cooking, dishwares, and wine and beverage coolers. Have you been thinking about replacing or upgrading your appliances? Now is the perfect time to shop and save. Take advantage of the GE Appliances Spring Forward sale happening now at Brand Source Home Gallery. Enjoy 20% off America's #1 most reliable appliance brand. But don't wait! Offer ends April 30. Visit Brand Source at 209 Dorsey Drive Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, let me tell you that we are talking about Telecommunicators Week, celebrated here in the Cayman Islands. We'll be talking about the vital role of the 911 operator. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me Minister for District Administration and Home Affairs, the Honorable Nickolas DaCosta, the Acting Director for the Department of Public Safety Communications, Mr. Sean Vazquez, Miss Monique Hunter, who is a telecommunicator, and Mr. Orville Mattis, who is a telecommunicator also. We are going to hear from telecommunicator Hunter at this point in time.
Hello again, everyone.
Pull that mic a little closer to you. There we go.
Okay. Hello again, everyone. So I just have some awareness for the public here. I just want the public to know that we are not police, we are not ambulance, nor are we fire units. However, we are your first contact when you are having an emergency. We are who you get on the phone when you call 911. We are 911 telecommunicators. We receive your emergency calls and dispatch emergency units, such as the police, the fire units, and the ambulance teams. And we provide life-saving instructions, such as CPR, even imminent childbirth instructions to callers over the phone until emergency response units arrive at your location to help you. Some persons might ask, are we qualified to give these instructions? Yes, we are. 911 telecommunicators are highly trained and certified professionals. We undergo bi-yearly training. It means every 2 years we train to maintain our CPR, public safety training, and medical dispatch, also fire training, and we are recertified every 2 years. We utilize the Association of Public Safety Communication Officials, APCO. We utilize their guide cards, which provide standardized step-by-step instructions for medical emergencies to ensure every caller receives world-class care. What is APCO? APCO stands for the Association of Public Safety Communications Officials. It is the world's largest organization of public safety communication professionals. APCO sets the global standard for public safety training, technical assistance, and advocacy to ensure emergency services operate effectively and safely. I said it earlier that we don't know your location, so it is best for you to provide us. But I'm going to give you a scenario in which it is very important for you to give us location, for example, location within location. So you might be calling from an apartment complex. For example, we would need to know that the apartment complex is at number 1 Batabanoo Road, the name of the apartment complex, the building number, and also the apartment number. So the address would sound something like this: 1 Batabanoo Road, Rose Apartments, Building 7, Apartment 2. In this way, emergency response teams will know exactly where you are and get help to you as quickly as possible.
If I could interrupt you there for a second question, would it be helpful also, for instance, if someone within that group, let's say if it's a family member, to be outside of the location to help to direct the first responders as well?
Absolutely. So if someone is inside the home, that is able to come out and indicate to the emergency response team, that will absolutely assist.
Yes.
Here's why that part is definitely important as well too, because we've had situations and cases before where even though it's important for you to know your house number, sadly we've had persons that may not have liked their house number and they switched it with their neighbor, or they put it on the side of the house that it's not visible, in a sense. So the first responders, when they're on that road and that lane, they're not able to locate the house, or they're going to the wrong location, because those types of incidents happen. So it really is important that we get the most accurate information as possible. And yes, sometimes being outside can definitely help the responders in that area.
Okay, great. Still have about a minute before we go to the news. Anything else that you want to cover there, Ms. Hunter?
Mr. Mattis wants to say.
Just to add to the person being outside to greet or meet the responders, it's a part of instructions that we provide the callers with, which is called pre-arrivals. That also helps to not just identify the location that you are actually at, but where it actually is. Because a lot of the times we have units or buildings that are tucked away, or the emergency is behind a space or a place that is probably just hard to get around or see from the visual that the responders have. So having someone go outside to meet or approach the emergency team is definitely pertinent.
Okay, with that, folks, we're going to go to a commercial break. We urge you, don't change that dial. We will return because, and why is it so important? Because our emergency responders are 911 or telecommunicators. They may not be seen, but they are always heard, and their work saves lives every day. So we want you to continue to listen and get these tips, very important tips that we're talking about during Telecommunicators Week. Also, if you have any questions or comments, we already have received a few. In the event that we're unable to open up the phone lines, you can send us your questions or comments to our WhatsApp number. That number is 925-3261, 925-3261. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
I'm April Cummings.
I think today is a very historic and exciting day for Cayman.
Her Excellency Governor Jane Owen, as Mrs. Gloria-McField-Nixon, is sworn in as Deputy Governor Designate of the Cayman Islands. She brings almost 3 decades of senior public sector experience to the position and will be the first woman to hold the post.
I feel tremendously honored to have been chosen to fill such a key constitutional position, particularly as I am taking up this role after the tremendous leadership of Mr. Franz Manderson, who's been our deputy governor for the past 14 years and a sterling civil servant for 44 years.
Mrs. McField-Nixon is an attorney at law, non-practicing. She also holds degrees from Howard University and the University of Liverpool. Outgoing deputy governor, the Honorable Franz Manderson, well, let's just say he is more than pleased about the news.
I've had the great privilege of working with Ms. McField-Nixon during my 14 years as deputy governor, and she has been a strong support. She's passionate about her work, highly capable, leads a dynamic team, and has worked very hard to deliver on my priorities. And I have no doubt that her vision for the civil service is to continue on our world-class journey, and that she will be able to do the job better than I did.
Of course, Mrs. McField-Nixon most recently has been serving as chief officer in the portfolio of the civil service. She's now taken up her formal appointment as deputy governor designate, but will move into the official post as deputy governor on the 8th of July. Police in West Bay last night warned residents about a loose pit bull in the area and asked for help to find it. The tan pit bull was last seen wearing a black collar with the name Renee and a phone number on it, and may also be dragging a red leash. The dog was last seen around 5:30 last night on Mount Pleasant Road between Vibe Lane and West Church Street. Police who see the animal are urged not to approach it, but to call 911 and report the location. Cayman's gas prices are holding steady this week, even as diesel inches higher across the islands. That's according to the Utility Regulation and Competition Office. The weekly report says the average price of self-service regular gas remains at $5.36 per imperial gallon for the week of April 1st to the 7th. That is unchanged from the week before. For diesel, refuel at the airport remains the lowest on Grand Cayman at $5.04 a gallon, compared to an island-wide average of $5.45. The Off-Reg report also notes that diesel prices have moved up in every district except East End, with the sharpest percentage increases this week in Boddentown and Northside. You can visit offreg.ky for the full breakdown. That is your local news. I'm April Cummings from Radio Cayman's Newsroom. Now, let's check in with the BBC for stories making headlines around the world.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. Preparations for negotiations between the United States and Iran are continuing, despite allegations both have breached Tuesday's ceasefire agreement. The hosts, Pakistan, say talks will take place on Saturday, but have cautioned that gaps between the two are wide. Iran insists any truce must include Lebanon. Israel has continued to attack Hezbollah in Lebanon despite international pleas for restraint. The Israeli military says it's killed more than 40 fighters since Wednesday's massive strikes. The French President Emmanuel Macron is reported to have invited Donald Trump to a dinner at the Palace of Versailles in what's being seen as an attempt to secure his attendance at a G7 summit. France is hosting June's meeting the day before. China's President Xi Jinping has held a rare meeting with the leader of Taiwan's opposition party in Beijing. He told Zheng Liwan he was confident China and Taiwan would be united. The King of Cambodia says he's been diagnosed with prostate cancer and will be treated in China. The 72-year-old said doctors had prescribed 2 months in hospital. He's already been in China for more than a month. The Italian fashion house Dolce & Gabbana has confirmed that one of its co-founders, Stefano Gabbana, has stepped down as chairman. It said he resigned in January but remains in his creative capacity. The British rock band Deep Purple have met their superfan, the Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi. The band first toured Japan more than half a century ago. Ms. Takaichi presented the drummer Ian Pace with a set of signed drumsticks. Scientists have documented what they're calling the most sustained deadly violence among two factions of a chimpanzee group. They've recorded 28 killings, including 19 infants, in the Chibale National Park in Uganda. Attacks began more than a decade ago. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store, or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
You heard that the VEG program taking applications again? What that is? VEG, man! The Minister of Tourism's program that helping Caymanians create new tourism products and services.
Oh, I had heard about that, yeah. My friend was one of the successful applicants from the last round. I might apply for that still.
Nothing wrong, child. After you got great ideas for things tourists would love to buy, try so check out the website rcayman.ky/VEDGP for more information and apply.
I'm going to do that right now.
The Ministry of Education and Training invites eligible Caymanians to apply for a local scholarship for the 2026-2027 academic year. To apply for a local scholarship or learn more about the various scholarship offerings, please visit the Scholarship Secretariat's website at www.moescholarships.gov.ky. Applications close on Thursday, 30th of April, 2026. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education and Training.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Synopsis indicate a high-pressure system established over the eastern United States, and a ridge is becoming more dominant over the northwestern Caribbean. Therefore, the pressure gradient will tighten, supporting a gradual increase in wind speed and wave heights. Radar imagery show no showers around the Cayman area at this time. Now, the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will rise near the mid to upper 80s with a heat index of 94 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Tonight, mostly fair skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures falling near the mid-70s. Winds will be northeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet for tonight. Today's low tide will occur this morning at 11:35, high tide this evening at 3 minutes past 5, and a low tide again tonight at 2 minutes after 11. The sun will set this evening at 6:40 and will rise tomorrow morning at 12 minutes past 6. And the outlook is calling for fresh northeasterly winds and moderate to rough seas from Sunday afternoon across the northwest Caribbean as the pressure gradient tightens due to a high-pressure system building over the eastern United States. A small craft advisory is expected to be in place from Sunday. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
If you have an objection to this marriage, speak now or forever hold your...
Don't do it, Tevin! I still love you. I have since the day we stole your mom's car and got matching dolphin tattoos.
Oh, Lordy. Janelle? From spring break 08?
Yes, it's me.
Janelle, you've got to move on.
We're like the wedding guest that doesn't ruin the ceremony. CG Britcay. Good like that. The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Craving something bold, juicy, and packed with flavor? Introducing KFC's new crispy barbecue sandwich served on a soft, buttery brioche bun. That's 100% KFC premium chicken breast, perfectly crispy, deliciously smoky with crispy onions, cheddar cheese, and barbecue sauce. Just the right amount of messy in the best way possible. Stacked with layers of bold KFC flavor, this sandwich is your new obsession. But hurry, it's only at KFC for a limited time. So what are you waiting for? Get yours today at any of the 3 KFC locations on island. KFC, finger licking good, just got bolder.
RC Fusion is proudly brought to you by TCE Paint Shop, Farmers and Artisans Retail Market, and My Canda Cleaners. RC Fusion, weekdays 10 a.m. to 12 midday, right here on Radio Cayman 89.9.
RC Fusion.
Radio Cayman Energy.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning, let's check in with traffic, see what's happening on our roads. From the east, traffic on Shamrock Road is moving at a moderate pace. Further down, little steadier traffic on the Linford-Pearson Highway, as well as on Cool Road, heading to the Georgetown area. Expect slight delays. Heading east on Cool Road, traffic is moving pretty good. Edward Street, looking pretty good as well. Northtown Road, traffic is flowing moderately in both directions, and traffic is flowing at a good pace on the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz. Coming from the West Bay 4-way, start flowing nicely. And coming off of the Esley Tibbetts Highway, traffic is moving at a moderate pace and continuing on to Northtown Road and the Industrial Park area. If you've seen accidents or incidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6990. Owen Roberts Drive flowing nicely, and that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic.
Craving something new? Dive into Subway's new seafood subs. 3 recipes inspired by the flavors of the coast, including the crunchy seafood bliss, the scrumptious chipotle tuna crunch, and the delicious breaded fish and ranch sub, made with our new breaded fish nuggets. Subway's new seafood subs. 3 recipes made to rock the boat. Only at Subway.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Healthcare Pharmacy, caring about your health for the past 25 years. Radio Cayman's premier health show.
Alzheimer's and dementia, are they the same disorder?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Is heard on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor, where they care about your health. Transfer and refill your prescription online. Visit healthcarepharmacy.com. KY or call 947-8900. Healthcare Pharmacy, now with a second location in Governor's Square. Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health.
Enjoy an evening of music with Spirit of Harmony, a John Gray Memorial Church concert, Saturday, April 18th at 6:30 p.m. An impressive lineup including local a cappella group The Stingrays, Glenn Inanga, Hannah Shen, Emily Mowbray, and more. Free for all to attend, with a special offering in support of Lila Nell Ebanks Music Fund. The Spirit of Harmony, Saturday, April 18th, 6:30 p.m. at the John Gray Memorial Church in West Bay.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, we are talking about Telecommunicators Week, the role of the 911 operators. We're also talking about the increased public awareness of the Department of Public Safety Communications, who they are and what they do. We want to provide you with some practical information and education on how the public can respond effectively to emergencies, and also how to go about building trust and confidence in emergency or in our emergency communications system. So we did receive a question from one of our listeners, and I'll read it for you and give our panelists an opportunity to respond. This person wrote, "Good morning. Can you ask your guest to demonstrate what would be the most efficient way to call an emergency responders? Because when you call them for an emergency at night, it takes them almost 30 minutes in West Bay alone to respond while someone is in danger or apprehending someone that may cause danger." Okay, who wants to take that?
Okay, so in response to the question, the most effective way or efficient way to contact us is to call 911 and allow us the opportunity to process the call. While we do process that call and have it submitted into our system, the units that are available will be informed, and once they are available and have the opportunity to respond, they will be responding. We also will have to factor in the traveling time to the location, as well as us outsourcing other units based on the nature and the seriousness of the incident. For example, if, as the caller mentioned, possibly being in West Bay, there might be high priority calls or incidents that are taking place, along with another high priority incident that has come in. We're now going to have to converse with the authority that is responsible for these units to now make a decision of who it is that we will be able to dispatch to these locations, just to assist or to aid until the necessary or the units for that jurisdiction, which means West Bay, is available to attend.
Okay, we have another question as well. Person says, "Good morning, Minister DaCosta and 911 staff. Question, how do you decompress after handling difficult calls? Then they go on to say, thank you for the calm, skill, and compassion you bring to every emergency. Your work saves lives, and your dedication makes our community safer every day. I want to thank that writer for those comments as well. How do you decompress?
So amazing question, and thank you for asking it, and also thank you for acknowledging the work that we do. I'd say decompressing, we have multiple resources that our department actually provides us with. For example, we have a system that helps us with just mental recovery, which we utilize certain entities to provide us with that relaxation, as well as you have your individual decompressing, where your leisure activities that you partake in, and family members, friends, what it is that will allow you to be distracted from or differentiating your professional lifestyle from the individual life that you actually have. Also, we will have to factor in the fact that these incidents are, possibly traumatic to whoever it is that's receiving, and trauma is also vicarious in our industry. And given the high stress and the chaos, we have a unit in terms of a team that they're a support system. That's our backbone. We can rely on them for that level of comfort. If they do realize that we also are in need of assistance outside of being away from work, then they render that to us to give us that level of comfort.
Ms. Santa, anything you want to add?
Sure. So after receiving that immediate call, while at work on the floor, when we have completed, if we get an opportunity, some of us might want to take a walk. I would take a walk and sing a song I like to sing, and that gets me back. But persons have different means by which they try to just regain that balance to go on. Mind you, it might not be a very long period, but even a short window helps.
And also the fact that if the mission has been successful and you have been able to achieve your objective, does that give you that sort of a high as well?
Accomplishment, yes.
Okay, so
and OC, if
yes,
I made the decompression is very important, because I mean you've been conversing with two of our telecommunicators here, and there's more to the team, and then the public interacts with them, and they still have to maintain this composure between every call, after every call, during every call. And so the decompression is very important. And when you look across the entire ministry, we have DPSC, we have the Department of Community Rehabilitation dealing with offenders and victims. We have the prison officers, we have CBC, we have fire. So not only do we have the first responders, we have the first responders as well within the ministry. And so while they are there, forgive me, I don't want to take any credit for the work they do, while they are there running towards every emergency, serving the public, we also have, as a public, understand what it does to them as a person. So that's why, going forward, I've been talking with the ministry for all agencies across the ministry to ensure that we have a program in place that supports all of our staff members. Our staff complement is over 1,000 across the ministry. And secondhand trauma is very real across this entire ministry. And we have to focus on that as well, because I've always held the philosophy that we cannot take care of others unless we take care of ourselves. And us at the center have to ensure that that is carried forward and ensure that it is done. So we are working to boost up that program for all agencies across the ministry.
Mr. Vazquez, can you want to add to that? And if you could also incorporate the staffing levels that you're at, the type of technology that you use, what resources that you have at your disposal, what you would like to have as well. I'm sure you already told the minister that, but if you say it publicly, that may put him on the spot.
It is on the record again.
And then acting director all of a sudden is transferred to a different department, so we know.
You might get a
post office or something, right?
New post filled. Going back just to on the caller's question, it prompted me to also highlight that, even though we are the bridge between the community and the first responders. A big part of our job as well too is to keep our first responders safe. So a lot of times, depending on the incident, the ambulance or the fire service may need to stage at a particular area until the police have made that scene safe prior to. So sometimes a lot of those considerations goes into it. What this team, the 911 team, goes through is a rigorous, sometimes 6 to 8 month training process before they're even allowed to go on the floor to take an emergency call. So this isn't something that we take lightly. This is lives that we're saving. And through that, as Mr. Orville was saying, there is a priority process that we don't have control over. What our job, again, is not just to primarily dispatch, but they have a series of questions depending on the incident that they must ask during that call, depending on what that incident is. And they're measured against that. We do a number of quality assurance checks to make sure that these questions were asked in the time that they were meant to be asked, and that those calls were dispatched at the time, depending on maybe a priority one or a priority call needs to be dispatched within 60 seconds or 90 seconds, depending on what it is. I know that's not something for, the caller on the other end of the line who's going through a life-changing traumatic experience, but these are some of the considerations that we might have. So while, let's say, there is a challenge for demand resources for the police at the time, and we may only have 2 or 3 units in a particular district on, that police officer, the area commander, would be one of the persons that we correspond and collaborate with to say this call is a higher priority call. If it's determined that it isn't, we would ask that caller to maybe attend the station if they have the opportunity at a later date, depending on what it is. So that was just to add on to that question. The second part is in terms of a wellness standpoint, and I did not pay them to say what they just said, just for clarity.
No increment, man.
But we do take that level of mental health very, very seriously. Now, I come from a law enforcement background of almost 15 years of being a police officer myself. So being on the front line and now sitting back and being on the other side of the table, being able to see what these guys go through, I take it very, very seriously and passionately. We have a really good wellness program in place. We have a wellness room for the team. And what we don't see, what we don't talk about a lot of times is that these guys, once they've finished a call, 99% of the time, they won't know the outcome of that call. They won't know if they actually did, if that life was actually saved. We hand over that call to the responding agency. So disconnecting and coming down, a lot of times they carry that burden home with them, not knowing if that person, like I said, survived, if that child survived, if the first aid life-saving instructions that were given, did help. So those calls are handed off a lot of the times, and they do carry that with them. So, and I think the last point was in terms of just communications and where we are, where we're going. We've had Minister DaCosta, which is a huge testament to us. Obviously, this morning, a minister who's actually showing up for not just the ministry, but for the department, and recognizing the vital importance that we play. We have, and I'll let Minister go more into some bits and pieces of it, but our strategic vision, our outcome for the next 3 to 5 years is moving into a more innovative technological infrastructure for telecommunications. They say that telecommunications are the new oil pipeline. Per se, none of these dispatchings, none of these uninterrupted, secure communications would be possible if we did not have a stable communications infrastructure. So there's been a lot of investment that has gone into that. And with that, I'll hand over to Minister to kind of talk a bit more about that.
Sure. Minister.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Sean. I am a true believer of innovation myself, and always operating as efficiently as possible. I joke all the time that I want my tombstone to say "lived efficiently, died efficiently," which I hope does come true. But we look at targeted investments, especially in how we had to craft the budget for 26 and 27, where we might not have had enough funds across the entire budget to supply all the staffing needs that we needed for every department across CIG. But where we could implement our funding or invest funding for capital projects that were innovative and created greater efficiency. One of the things that we are looking to do, and then I'll probably hand back over to the acting director to speak on more detail, but one of the critical items and keys that we are investing in over this year and next year is the computer-aided dispatch system that assists our telecommunicators in the work that they do. And Sean mentioned it, where we're looking to be innovative with including AI and other technological advances, because the current system that is being used is put in place 20 years ago. Yeah. 20 years ago. So this is the first upgrade or replacement that we're having. So it was very critical. It'll make the telecommunicators work more efficient, easier to manage the calls and the dispatch. And then as well, in addition to that, one of the key upgrades is because we handle the emergency response communications and the radio communications, we have funding in place to upgrade the bunker or to rebuild a new bunker in Northward for the communications tower that all of our emergency responders rely on for comms. So those are two of the major things that we are investing in over the next 2 years. And if I've forgotten anything, you can add it on.
Thank you, Minister. I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head with a lot of them. We just think of it for 1 second in terms of we've gone over the last 4 or 5 years from taking 55,000 calls annually to over 100,000 calls annually now. So that's roughly about 2,000 calls a month, 300 calls a day. So you're talking about one person, maybe two at times, that is going through decision fatigue, having to make decisions on the split of a hat. Call fatigue, so you're picking up the phone almost 300 times a day. All of those things are why we make sure that our team, as best as we can, have a really robust mental health, kind of like mainframe and structure in place. For the computer-aided dispatch, yes, we are moving into an area where we want to be able to do not just smarter or tactical dispatching per se, but be able to have a lot of systems not working in silos anymore. So yes, AI is a really good, huge component where we would have real-time transcription from that caller. Being able to have real-time translation for persons that may not be from an English-speaking country, and also be able to have location GPS embedded in all of our technologies. So while we talk about our communities and our persons on island, who obviously are, the lion's share and the important factor that we have, we also have a lot of visitors to this country that's coming off the cruise ship who may not know the locations of where they are or along the public beach. So for us, it's being able to be being more innovative, but also to have that strategy in place where we're not having different independent systems working to that degree. So we're really thankful to the minister and the team for supporting that funding decision for us to upgrade the CAD, as well as the continuation of the National CCTV project expansion. A big one of those is that we while the program has some really high definition performing cameras, it's also important for us to make sure that we continue that our infrastructure doesn't outgrow not just our legislation, but everything else in between, and how that ties into working with other agencies and collaborating through that area. And then we have our electronic monitoring of offenders, which is also going through an upgrade and a transition as to how we engage with the public, and really just getting that message out there that persons that are being enrolled are proposed to go on the program, that it doesn't just come across as being a punitive, type of punishment-wise, and this is what you've done wrong, but more so how we help them reintegrate back into society and to give them an opportunity to, give back to the community and help them and their families in that area. So we are trying our best over the next couple of years, not just to professionalize our services, but also to be more customer-centric, even though we mightn't be at the front line. But these are really and truly the heroes that we call behind the headset, being the first of the first responders. So
certainly. Okay, with that, we're going to take a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Spring forward and save 20% on GE appliances. All throughout the month of April, enjoy 20% savings on GE appliances across a wide range of categories. Washers and dryers, refrigerators, cooking, dishwares, and wine and beverage coolers. Have you been thinking about replacing or upgrading your appliances? Now is the perfect time to shop and save. Take advantage of the GE Appliances Spring Forward sale happening now at Brandosaurus Home Gallery. Enjoy 20% off America's #1 most reliable appliance brand. But don't wait! Offer ends April 30. Visit Brandosaurus at 209 Dorsey Drive Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Are you ready to be inspired? Calling all marketers, creatives, and visionaries. Join SIMPA's 12th annual marketing conference, Level Up, Marketing's New Formula, happening April 17th and 18th at Hotel Indigo. Discover the latest trends in marketing innovation, sharpen your skills in hands-on workshops, and connect with global industry leaders who are changing the game. Plus, celebrate the best of Cayman's marketing and creative professionals at the SIMPA Awards Gala, honoring the brightest minds in the field. Don't miss out. Secure your tickets now at simpa.ky.
Brought to you by the Department of Tourism, Airview Media, DART, Health City, Compass Media, Armada Films, Signs of Paradise, Caribbean Creations, the Department of Communications, and Radio Cayman.
This is Roy Barton, and I'd like to wish Radio Cayman a happy 50th anniversary and many, many, many more.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, we are talking about Telecommunicators Week here in the Cayman Islands. That conversation is taking place with the Honorable Nickolas DaCosta, who's the Minister with responsibility for District Administration and Home Affairs, also in the studio with us. Acting Director for the Department of Public Safety Communications, Mr. Sean Vazquez, Telecommunicator, Ms. Monique Hunter, and Telecommunicator, Mr. Orville Mattis. Another question that we have from one of our listeners, they ask, what helps you stay calm and focus when callers are panicked or distressed?
Okay, so very good question. The common focus is coming from our training. The trainers who would have imparted the knowledge that we needed to participate in the call-taking aspect, learning from our team members, being guided by the experienced telecommunicators and our supervisors, also knowing that when a caller is hysterical or their emotions are heightened, it's not about us, but about what they're experiencing, what they're going through. And we being conscious and alert or aware of the situation that's taking place, we're able to differentiate what we need to do and what is actually required of us during that time.
Ms. Hunter?
Sure. I like that question because it highlights something else. Not every call requires us to be calm. Sometimes a caller calls in and they're panicking and they're rambling on and we don't get to get the location. So sometimes we'll ask the name, because not every call requires us to ask the name. But when they're going on with the information and we're not even getting the location, we'll ask the name. If they tell us the name, we'll say, Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so, where is the location? So not all the time we have to remain calm.
Yeah, you have to be firm at
Yes,
times.
we have to be firm with them sometimes to be able to get the information to provide the help that they need in a timely manner.
Mm-hmm. Which takes us to the point, Minister and Acting Director, in terms of those persons who may have an interest in becoming a telecommunicator or being part of your organization. What are some of the qualities that you would be looking for in candidates?
Well, I always try to, I think, impress upon our colleagues and our learned friend partner agencies that this is one of the few jobs that I don't know many people who would willingly sign up to be shouted and cursed at. It is a very, very stressful job, and as the minister just said just now, not to steal your thunder, hire for attitude, train for skill,
right?
Which is a really, really important component for us. So we looked at how this job critically plays a role into the community, and we wanted to make sure that these opportunities remained for our Caymanians, both young and old, persons who may have some sort of law enforcement background or experience. So we've actually started an initiative where we're working with the Civil Service College as well as some other international bodies to help professionalize those services. One of the core requirements to be able to even apply for this job is that you need to have a certain amount of time and experience in a call center. That makes it somewhat difficult, being as that we're the only call center, 24/7 call center within our island. So we're working to professionalize some of those services and a certification almost in public safety from a diploma standpoint to be able to give those Caymanians an opportunity to step into this role and to just to aim for higher aspirations when that part comes. So we are looking for persons who are able to remain calm under pressure, persons with high integrity, persons who are looking to reshape the entire culture and framework of what a 911 telecommunicator is meant to look like, and how we support our partner agencies and how we support the community. We definitely don't do this for the pay. Not throwing you there, Minister. I'll let Minister speak to that after. But you definitely have to have a servant's heart and to be able to be empathetic and to show empathy at the time when these callers are going through it. Is it hurtful when the callers are at their height of being anxious and angry, and sometimes our telecommunicators are exposed to abuse where they're told to go back to their home country, or you don't know what you're talking about, and you really and truly, people still have a misconception that 911 is tied to one of the other law enforcement bodies, which in fact we're not, as Ms. Monique mentioned earlier. So there's a high degree of patience and a posture that our telecommunicators need to establish, and they undergo some of this in their training as well too, where they have to be exposed to that type of attitudes and those types of scenarios where persons are shouting and cursing at them.
Minister?
Yeah, sure. And I will start by saying, just for clarity, Section 55 of the Constitution precludes me and disqualifies me from the hiring and firing of anybody. So anything I say now is just my strict opinion, and is not to be taken as advice to those in the ministry or the department. But, you know, I echo everything that the acting director said. I think that's why, you know, going back to the formation of the government, and when we were all sat around the table after the election and we were going through the portfolios and deciding how the portfolios were going to be arranged, I think I was drawn to this ministry in particular and in the agencies that fall within the ministry, because throughout my life I've always found myself working in a people-facing industry or customer service in all levels, and to serve people. And that's essentially what our telecommunicators do. They serve people. So anyone that wants to come into the role needs to know that they're in it to serve, to be that voice, the calm in the chaos, that reassurance, that because when you pick up the phone to call 911, you are asking for help. And these ladies and gentlemen of DPSC are delivering that help. And so, but it's not always calm waters when they're delivering that. So to cut through the storm surge and to continue delivering that with such poise, such calm, such professionalism is truly remarkable. And I think that any person that is interested needs to come in with that same attitude. Because as the acting the director said, my philosophy for hiring has always been you hire for attitude and you train for skill. Mm-hmm. Attitude cannot be changed or learned.
That's true. And just before we go to the commercial break, I have one situation here that one of our listeners has sent, but it's pretty long, so give me an opportunity during the commercial break to digest it. But we have another question in relation to whether or not the 911 service also covers the sister islands.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we absolutely do. We cover all three islands.
All the islands.
I can attest to that because I've made a 911 call in Kimmenbrack. So.
Okay, with that, we're going to take our last commercial break for this segment. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superhero shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Spring forward and save 20% on GE appliances. All throughout the month of April, enjoy 20% savings on GE appliances across a wide range of categories. Washers and dryers, refrigerators, cooking, dishwares, and wine and beverage coolers. Have you been thinking about replacing or upgrading your appliances? Now is the perfect time to shop and save. Take advantage of the GE Appliances Spring Forward sale happening now at Brandosaurus Home Gallery. Enjoy 20% off America's #1 most reliable appliance brand. But don't wait! Offer ends April 30. Visit Brandosaurus at 209 Dorsey Drive Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
Boy, I'm so glad I got that funding from the Ministry of Tourism's Visitors Experience Development Grant Program. It has really helped me create an awesome new tourism offering. Wondering if you could do the same? You're in luck. Applications for the VEDG program are now open. Visit www.ourcayman.ky/VEDGP for more information and to apply.
Are
Are you ready to be inspired? Calling all marketers, creatives, and visionaries. Join SIMPA's 12th annual marketing conference, Level Up, Marketing's New Formula, happening April 17th and 18th at Hotel Indigo. Discover the latest trends in marketing innovation, sharpen your skills in hands-on workshops, and connect with global industry leaders who are changing the game. Plus, celebrate the best of Cayman's marketing and creative professionals at the SIMPA Awards Gala, honoring the brightest minds in the field. Don't miss out. Secure your tickets now at simpa.ky.
Brought to you by the Department of Tourism, Airview Media, DART, Health City, Compass Media, Armada Films, Signs of Paradise, Caribbean Creations, the Department of Communications, and Radio Cayman.
Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence.
Hi, I'm Tommy from TCE Paint Shop. Growing up, my favorite programs on Radio Cayman was News Hour, The Request Hour, then followed by the House of Gold with the Kincaids. I remember listening to this with my grandmother on her cistern back in 1976. Happy 50th anniversary, Radio Cayman, my choice for radio in the Cayman Islands.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of this segment of the show talking about Telecommunicators Week, conversation taking place with the Honorable Nickolas DaCosta, Minister with responsibility for district administration and home affairs. Also in the studio with us, Acting Director for the Department of Public Safety Communications, Mr. Sean Vazquez, Miss Monique Hunter, who is a telecommunicator, and Mr. Orville Mattis, who's also a telecommunicator. We have observation, a statement from one of our listeners, and they want us to read this, and I'll do it verbatim. It says, good morning to all, but especially to my minister, Honorable Nickolas DaCosta. I have a family member who has suffered severe trauma by being a first responder. We often forget that they have to take deceased people from a situation. For instance, in horrific car accidents. In this case, it was rescuing a dead toddler, and personally, I think it destroyed this young man. He wasn't prepared for it. The service does provide for volunteer counseling, etc., but particularly in the fire service, where they are constantly recruiting youngsters straight out of high school, I have to wonder if they are properly prepared for the emotional side of things. I know they go through rigorous physical training, but the mental agony and trauma may not receive sufficient emphasis. Minister.
Thank you, OC, and thank you for the listener and writing that and putting that together. You know, I'm truly sorry to hear of how that incident may have affected a young Caymanian and his life, because it is traumatic, and to have to deal with that. And with that being said, I don't think anyone can prepare for the emotional agony and the anguish that one faces when dealing with a situation like that. No matter how much you try to prepare, actually living it and seeing it is a totally different thing. And we always hear about PTSD with those who go to war and those who go through these same incidences. But it's just staying on top of it. Need to ensure that as it happens, you're getting the help that you need immediately. Don't let it fester. Don't let it grow. And if there are gaps where perhaps a voluntary service for our service members across the ministry is not being taken up, perhaps we need to do check-ins and keep that more regularly. Because I can say that having taken the helm of this ministry with the chief officer, Mr. Ebanks, every cohort of new recruits that we've spoken to across the uniformed services within our ministry, he has been straight up with them on the realities that they are about to face. And it's important that from the get-go, that is made clear. But then if they are still committed in serving this country and serving our people and keeping everybody safe and everything that comes along with that, we then have to stand by them as well. We have to stand by them and support them. So I will ensure that the resources needed for all agencies across the ministry to deal with the trauma that they face on a daily basis is there and ready to support them.
Okay, we have about 8 minutes left in the show, and we want to ensure that we've covered everything that we have covered. And in your closing comments, we have one of our listeners has directed a question to the officers, and if you could incorporate that in your closing comments, we would appreciate it. And the question is, what part of your job gives you the most pride or satisfaction? So, we'll start with you, Miss Monique, in terms of closing comments and touching on any subject that or any area that we may not have mentioned, but you may want to touch on now as well.
Okay, thank you. You had asked a question earlier. We didn't get an opportunity to respond. You asked about our multitasking inside of the center. So to respond to this, myself and Mr. Mattis, we're going to use a scenario. So let us say we receive a motor vehicle accident call that a motor vehicle ran into a pole. So at this point, someone may be trapped in the vehicle. We are receiving several calls. Every person that is passing by, and when these vehicles meet in this accident, sometimes there's smoke coming from the airbag, not necessarily that the car is on fire. So there are several persons with concerns. They're seeing an accident, they're seeing smoke, and persons may be trapped in the vehicle. We have to dispatch the police team. We have to dispatch the ambulance team, the fire team. Because it's a pole, we also have to call CUC, and sometimes we have to call NRA and other agencies. All of this is taking place while we're still collecting the calls. 911 calls keep coming in while this is happening. We have to answer each call because we cannot assume that the call coming in next is also talking about the accident. It could be a brand new emergency. Our admin lines ring as well. While all of this is taking place, we have to still answer our admin lines because some people calls in on our admin lines with an emergency as well. Mr. Mattis?
I think you covered everything. And, however, I'll just add that it's with the influx of calls, given a situation that is of a major incident, and the public have that concern, we do appreciate all the calls that are coming in. I know this is when we have to tap into that training that we would have received and implement that multitasking. Also, we do ensure that all calls that come in on our 911 lines are answered. And again, when answered, we use the rule of prioritization to address whether it's the same incident. However, and if it is the same incident, if you're not involved in the incident, you're probably just a passerby. We'll take the details that you have and we'll return to the caller who is actually involved.
Okay.
Please repeat the last part of the question.
Okay. The person wanted to know what gives you, the most pride in terms of your job. But before you answer that, we have one last question that we'll be able to accommodate. Person says that I had occasion to call 911 a few weeks ago on behalf of another party. They were very thorough, which initially seemed quite annoying, but the actual response as a result of the conversation was amazingly fast. Thank you, 911.
You're most welcome.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
So some closing comments and include what gives you pride in terms of your job.
For me, just being a telecommunicator is a thing of pride and beauty. Each time I get up, whether it's for the morning shift or the night shift, I always tell myself that I'm going to save a life today. That doesn't always happen, but for me, once I go in and I'm able to minimize damage or minimize injury, that is a great accomplishment. We don't always know what the outcome is, but when we do know, that's an amazing day for me.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Mattis?
So I'd say, thank you for that question. And I'd say for me, what satiates me with my job is being able to be that bridge, the vital component or the connector to a situation where help is being asked for, and I'm able to provide it with the resources that I have, being trusted with such a task, a sensitive aid to the public and such a large group of people who are seeking just reassurance, comfort, and just having a solution to the issues that they have. That fulfills me. And what I'll say in closing is just that I'm really grateful to serve the community with, or I should say we are, with just being, assiduous and tenacious in just how we approach and adhere to the public's cries, respond to them. And we will continue to do that. And thank you again for listening to us and acknowledging the work that we do.
Thanks for all the work that you do as well. And we've received so many comments from our listeners in relation to it. This person again just telling those guys thank you for their work. So so many gracious persons out there. So Mr. Acting Director, and I'm going to say this, I know you haven't received your Oscar yet, for acting.
Almost there.
Final comments from you, and then from the minister.
I think it's no secret that we as employers, we as leaders, in our own craft, we have such a high duty of care to make sure that we take care of our staff. And again, one of the major investments when we talk about innovation to our CAD system, to our 911 teams, they already undergo such a traumatic experience, from this, vicarious trauma in terms of taking calls. One of the things that we're moving into now is what we call next gen 911. Mm-hmm. Now that we're moving now into an area that you will be able to do text to 911. You'll be able to send videos and send live feeds to 911, as well as have more accurate GPS tracking in terms of when that call comes in. What does that mean? That means that our 911 teams are going to be exposed to even more trauma, because now they'll be seeing exactly what's happening at that emergency and not just hearing what it is. So again, this ties very, very strongly into what our mental health safety bridges that need to be in place. We're doing so many things right, OC, to the degree that we have other jurisdictions visiting here, wanting to replicate and mirror what we're doing in our 911 center, wanting to replicate what we're doing for offender monitoring, wanting to replicate what we're doing for national CCTV. So what gives me joy is that, and just a really strong sense of accomplishment is being able to see my team being aligned with the other brave men and women in the first response industry, not just nationally, but internationally as well too. These guys take a huge amount with them. So for me, that's what it is, and being able to inspire the next generation of persons to want to step into a role that looks just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Minister.
Thank you, OC. And because of all of that, because of the international recognition, because of the hard work that we are putting out here in Cayman, the entire team there at DPSC is making this a stronger, safer community. Today was all about public education on what DPSC does as we round out the Telecommunicators Week, but it was also about recognition, and not only recognition, but gratitude. We heard from two of our telecommunicators, Ms. Monique and Mr. Orville, and the work that they do. They're part of a team, a broader team. And I think that in what brought me joy today, because these voices are often heard but not seen. And because they're being seen today and being heard, all of the comments that are coming in praising the work that our telecommunicators do. Because day in, day out, 24 hours per day, 365 days per year, these ladies and gentlemen never shut down. They're always there to serve us. So on behalf of myself and the entire ministry, to all of our telecommunicators, I just want to thank you for your resilience. Thank you for your professionalism and all that you do in keeping Cayman safe, because you truly are the key that keeps us all together and safe. You are the first responders. And so I personally thank you. The ministry thanks you. And of course, I stand by you in everything that you do. So, OC, thank you again for the opportunity to share their voices with Cayman.
Certainly. And they may not be seen, but they are always heard, and their work saves lives every day. With that, folks, we're going to go to our headline news. When we return, we're going to have a distinguished panel in the studio. Not only will we have the current governor, we will also have the deputy governor in the studio with us, along with the deputy governor designate in the studio. So don't change that dial. Lots to talk about. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
I'm April Cummings with your headlines. A free Cayman quadrille dance class is set for later this month at the Cayman Islands National Museum courtyard. It's scheduled for April 25th from 9 to 10 a.m., and they're inviting dancers of all levels to step into tradition. The workshop will cover basic footwork and all 6 figures of the traditional quadrille, offering both newcomers and experienced dancers a fun way to deepen their understanding of the iconic local dance. Organizers say spaces are limited, so early sign-up is encouraged. In international headlines, U.S. President J.D. Vance is traveling to Pakistan to lead high-stakes talks aimed at ending the 6-week-old war with Iran. The U.S. delegation is meeting Iranian representatives in Islamabad amid a fragile ceasefire and U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to unleash massive force if diplomacy fails. Analysts say the negotiations face a steep climb, but the White House insists there is still a window for a lasting agreement. In Scotland, a domestic abuser has been jailed in a landmark case holding him responsible for his wife's suicide after a sustained campaign of violence and control. 40-year-old Lee Milne was sentenced to 8 years in prison for culpable homicide and abusive behavior after jurors found that his abuse drove 28-year-old Kimberly Milne to jump to her death in 2023. Prosecutors and campaigners say the ruling could set an important precedent for how the justice system treats domestic abuse and coercive control. I'm April Cummings. This is Radio Cayman's Newsroom.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
At HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power just to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
When life feels busy, it's time to slow down and tune in. Breeze 105.3 FM gives you the timeless hits, smooth favorites, and the music that feels like home.
Words cannot express how much you mean to me.
Switch now and ride the breeze.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. As promised, before we went to our headline news at 9 o'clock, we have a distinguished cast in our studio with us this morning. My pleasure to have in the studio the Governor, Her Excellency, Ms. Jane Owen, Deputy Governor, Honorable Franz Manderson, and Deputy Governor Designate, Ms. Gloria-McField-Nixon. Folks, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh, thanks for being here as well. This probably makes my day and makes my career as a talk show host, something that I didn't plan for, in my career at all. But it is great, and we're going to start off with you, Governor. Welcome back, and this must be exciting times for you as well. My query, and I did some quick research this morning to see how long we're going to actually have a female governor and a female deputy governor at the same time in terms of your tenure.
Oh, my tenure?
Yes.
Well, I think I'm here for a little while yet.
Okay.
I'm expecting to be here until probably around the middle to the autumn of 2027.
Mhm.
So that gives a really good length of time to be able to work closely together with Franz while he's still here, and also with Miss Gloria when she takes over.
Okay.
I think sorry, I don't think this is working, but carry on.
Yes. I'm sure that some of our listeners are curious about the process in terms of selecting, a deputy governor as well. Could you talk a little bit about the process?
Yes, the process is following the standard arrangements that we have for all jobs, really, in the civil service. But as you can imagine, it has to be particularly rigorous and particularly demanding. So we obviously go out to ask people to apply. We left the advert open for 3 or 4 weeks, I think. It was quite broad. It went beyond the internal civil service, of course. And then once we got applicants, we selected some for interview, and then we went into the interview process. I had a panel which I think has been made public, that it was me alongside Mr. Woody Foster and Mr. Lem Hurlston. So as you know, not only are they very respected people in our community, but Woody is also the chair of our Standards in Public Life Commission, and Mr. Lem Hurlston is currently the chair of our Constitutional Commission. So I thought those links were also quite important. And as Miss Gloria will attest to, it was a pretty rigorous process of presentations and media interviews and being able to set out. We asked the candidates to set out their kind of vision for what they wanted to do, and then we had a very lengthy interview with many questions. So yeah, it was a great process that I have a lot of confidence in.
And I dare say that there was an ad hoc panel as well. I'm not sure if I was the leader of it or whom, but the public out there, had certain expectations. They had their choices, and I would dare to say that she was top amongst the choices as well. So it seems as if the ad hoc public selection committee and your committee worked hand in hand in this particular instance.
Yeah, and I think we were very clear about, it's always important when you go into a recruitment process, isn't it, to be clear about what you're actually looking for and the kind of qualities that we were looking for. Obviously, it's partly about experience and what the person has done before, but it's very much about looking forward and figuring out have they got the real policy intellectual heft that you need for this sort of job? Are they able to cope with a really diverse list of different issues? How do they work with other people? And it means being able to engage, being able to inspire the civil service teams, being able to help people to work across portfolios together, but also being able to be very clear and articulate in what's important and being able to hold the line when necessary. So all of those things came into our minds when we were doing the process.
Excellent. Governor, with your permission, what I'd like to do is we'd like to chronicle the career path of our current Deputy Governor, and then the career path of our Deputy Governor Designate as well. Many of our listeners know of your stories, but we want to repeat it for them. So we'll start with you, DG.
Thank you, sir. And of course, Mr. Connor, you played a key role in my career. I will never forget your leadership and your influence. So in 1980, way back when, seems like such a long time ago, I was in high school, but it's now John Gray. Had no idea what I really wanted to do. I was thinking of something in law enforcement, but I hadn't really made up my mind. And immigration officer came to Careers Day and had this really swanky uniform on and told us about what the immigration department does. And I signed up for an internship, did that for a year, made a good impression, I believe. And then the next year I went back and I applied to come on as a part of the immigration department. I was too young to become an immigration officer. I was 16. I started on my 16th birthday on the 7th of July. So I found my first contract where I was appointed a clerical assistant, making a grand total of $5,000 a year, which was really brought back great memories. But then when I turned 17, I became an immigration officer, and then working my way up, going to law school, holding various ranks. I became chief immigration officer. Following you, sir, as you moved over to be our cabinet secretary, I took over the immigration department in 2004. Then came Hurricane Ivan, but we won't talk about that. And then I did that job for 5 years. And then I was appointed a chief officer in 2009. And then following Mr. Ebank's retirement in 2012, I was appointed deputy governor. So it has been a really long ride, very interesting. But actually starting at the bottom has given me a really great opportunity to understand how the civil service works, but understand the various issues that staff face at all levels. So I was exposed to great leadership, and then I was exposed to not so good leadership. And then how do you deal when you're not being inspired and motivated? How do you cope? So when civil servants come to see me, whatever level they're at, I think I have a good way of relating to their experiences. But that has been my career. I look back on it with great pride and satisfaction. Lots of great mentors, a lot of great leaders who motivated me along the way and guided me, gave me opportunities. Before we hand over to Miss Gloria, I found a letter that Mr. Bostock wrote in 1982. And he said that he was writing for me to be formally appointed as a clerical officer. And he said, Franz is too young to become an immigration officer, but I do believe if given the opportunity, he will become a good immigration officer one day. And that was...
Talk about foresight,
Yes,
right?
yes. But again, it was someone giving me an opportunity, and I have worked hard to give as many people opportunities as I could over my 44 years.
Okay. Before we hand over to Ms. Gloria, the governor has mentioned in terms of who the interview panel was in relation to the selection of the deputy governor. So you weren't involved in that, but you have worked extremely closely with Ms. Gloria throughout the years,
Absolutely.
As well.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what you have found in her, how, the relationship that you've been able to develop working with her as the chief officer in the portfolio of the civil
absolutely.
service?
It has been an absolute delight and pleasure. I say it to her, and I say it to her team. I say it to my wider civil service team. Ms. Gloria-McField-Nixon makes my life better. With her passion, her intellect, her drive, her commitment. I cannot tell you how many times she has said to me, DG, let me take that off your plate. Let me deal with this. And then when she deals with it, you never hear about it again, right? It is done, and done at an exceptional high level. What I really admire about Ms. Gloria is her leadership skills and how she leads her team. There is a reason why chief officers got up and clapped yesterday when the governor made the announcement. Is because of the relationship that she has built with all of them and the respect that they have for her. And as the governor said earlier, working across ministries, portfolios, keeping the team focused, keeping the team focused on the delivery for the government can be a challenge because we're dealing with diverse areas. We have ministers with priorities. There's some DG priorities. How do you get everyone working together? She does that exceptionally well. And she is highly respected, high on integrity, high on doing things the right way. And I thanked the governor yesterday, and I'll do it again. She made an excellent choice.
Yes.
And we can all be proud of what Ms. Gloria has been able to achieve over her career. And I said it yesterday, and I can say this now, is that Mr. Ebanks said repeatedly, I believe Franz will do the job better than I did. And I kept saying to him, sir, I don't think you should say that. You put a lot of pressure on me. But he kept saying it, so I'm going to say it now, is that I believe Ms. Gloria will do the job better than I did. And the civil service will achieve greater heights under her leadership. And I'm going to walk with her here on the 8th of July, feeling really proud, on the 7th of July, feeling really proud and satisfied, and without any doubt that the civil service is in capable hands.
Mm-hmm. And I must say, with my interactions with her, she always remains cool,
absolutely,
calm, and collected. Yes. Her demeanor does not change,
exactly,
one bit as well. Mm-hmm. With that, we want to say hi, Ms. Gloria. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Congratulations again, to you. And we'd like you to chronicle your journey through the civil service right up to this point.
Wow. Well, good morning, Mr. Connor, and good morning to all of the listening public today. As I walked into this building as the Deputy Governor Designate, it was really full circle for me. I was met as I came in by my very first boss within the civil service, Mr. Loxley Banks.
Wow.
Because I joined the civil service also quite young as an intern at Radio Cayman, and I had just completed my 5th form. I was awaiting my results to see if I would be heading to 6th form, and I decided I should not rest on my laurels. I should go out and also seek work just in case. And I remember putting out applications to a number of institutions and interviewing. But what really stood out for me with government is that when I expressed my interest in continuing my education, there was such a hearty response from Mr. Banks when he said, "I think that's an excellent idea. We really encourage that." Mr. Banks took me under his wings, and that was, my goodness, I think we realized that was some 36 years ago, in summer of 1990. And as I see this building is going through its renovations, I recall being here when we put on the 2nd floor. I worked throughout my 6th form. I didn't give up the internship. I continued while I was in 6th form, working evenings and every weekend, every holiday. I did many Christmases within here, and I really, established my work ethic, my public speaking, so many things that I learned on this very first job, but the tremendous input that I had from my mentor and boss, Mr. Banks, and the entire family here at Radio Cayman. I continued on, and when I completed 6th form, I took a gap year. I joined the archives, and that's when I was under the stewardship of Dr. Philip Pedley, another amazing Caymanian mentor, someone who was very clear that job was a stepping stone to prepare me for university. And so I worked as a research assistant there for a year before heading off to pursue my first degree, which was in communications. I studied at Howard University, graduated first in my class in the School of Communications at Howard, and I minored in political science. And upon returning with my qualifications, I was so blessed as a returning Caymanian graduate. I had 3 opportunities for employment within government. Which was in communications within Radio Cayman, within our GIS, Government Information Services. And at that time, the portfolio of finance was also responsible for financial services. And Miss Francine Roach, who was in our personnel department, counseled me. And she said, if you were my daughter, I would tell you, step out of your comfort zone, try something new. And so I joined the then portfolio of finance, and we established a marketing and promotions unit that was supporting the financial services industry. And that is where I was able to be, again, under excellent mentorship. I've worked with some amazing leaders within that area. Most significantly, it was my opportunity to work very closely with the then financial secretary, who went on to become chief secretary as well, and Mr. George McCarthy, and I had amazing opportunities there. I also became very involved at that time in our staff association. My passion for what the civil service had become to mean to me. I come from a single parent family, and the civil service very much gave me structure. It gave me purpose. And I wanted from a very early age to give it my all and to really give back. Became an advocate for employee rights. I would establish we used to have the civil service fair behind the glass house. And once a year, we would have our departments come out and just showcase to the public the many ways that they touch their lives. We created things for our civil servants to do to really build camaraderie, and so we had many social events that we put on, and we would have representation from all of our departments, including the governor's office, when we would have our various events. And we brought then as well recognition for long service awards, not only for uniformed services, but for our civilian staff as well. And so that gave me an opportunity to really get to work with so many people from so many walks of life across the civil service, and I really enjoyed supporting. Our monetary authority had just rolled out from being a department into being a statutory authority, and was able to support that new institution and really the blossoming of Cayman's financial services industry. It's when we started to come, I think, really for the first time under a lot of scrutiny, external scrutiny, and so I worked very closely with the senior persons who would have been responsible for defending our financial sector at that time. Then we had 9/11. And in 2001, December 2001, I was recruited into the Ministry of Tourism. It was a particularly challenging time for the sector, and I worked very closely with the permanent secretary there. I joined as what we would then call senior assistant secretaries. Their role then evolved into becoming deputy chief officers, and my portfolio responsibilities were primarily for tourism, although I worked very closely as well with development. We had responsibility for the Department of Environment, 6 statutory authorities at that time. I worked with Cayman Airways. This was a major time of change for that organization. We did, with all of the challenges confronting the sector, we had some really difficult decisions. Government's finances were significantly under strain, and the national airline, I think, was a matter of a real political football at the time. We conducted an efficiency review with the assistance of Lufthansa, and really went through a major rebranding of the airline. We consolidated their operations. We were able to acquire the old Sammy's Inn, renovate that, and give them a proper headquarters. There was some significant route expansion that happened at that time, and I was secretary to the board of Cayman Airways, and so learned a lot about corporate governance in that role as well. And so we then had Mr. Manderson mention the advent of our own significant event in Hurricane Ivan, and I was acting chief officer at the time that we experienced Hurricane Ivan. I dealt with a mass evacuation at the time that we were expecting this major storm and had to bring our population down to low levels. And I remember we were handing out coloring books to children and refreshments to tourists that were leaving. And when we realized that the last flight had departed, we still had persons who were seeking to get out, but we were no longer able to operate flights. The conditions weren't safe. Really just being responsible for having those persons being positioned in our shelters and then dealing with the evacuation after the event. So we went from coloring books and refreshments at Owen Roberts International Airport to using our airplane hangar as the makeshift airport at that time, and dealing with all of the evacuations and the early stages of recovery. By the time I handed over to the new permanent secretary, we were welcoming in our first cruise ships back into the country, and tourism was resuming. I learned so many things in that role, and was ultimately appointed as chief officer 20 years ago, and so continued to support that key sector of our economy. And then I moved over to the portfolio of the civil service, being able to work very closely then with my new boss, Mr. Donovan Ebanks. I had been undertaking my law degree, my second degrees, while I was in the Ministry of Tourism, and I then went on to do my PPC, and with the blessing of Mr. Donovan Ebanks, I undertook my articles at Walker's, where again I had excellent leadership, stewardship. I was able to article under Ms. Ingrid Pierce. Now it's managing director, and again I've been so blessed with the leadership that I have been exposed to during that time. I returned to the portfolio of the civil service, and I recall when I was being called to the bar, the very difficult decision that I had, and I expressed in the opportunity that I had to address the court my decision to return to the civil service, and it was because I had felt so blessed by everything that had been given to me in my time within the civil service, the opportunities that have been afforded to me, but also the opportunity to be able to give back to our community and to support the outstanding men and women across the civil service. I've continued to steward in the portfolio of the civil service, being responsible for HR, for public sector reform, and for good governance, and to support successive governors, including our current governor, and just then to work under an amazing leader in Mr. Manderson as he took up the position as deputy governor just before I returned back to the portfolio from my break as I undertook my articles. It has been an amazing, amazing ride. Mr. Manderson has been through some very difficult challenges. In the very early days, we were still confronting recession that came in the early 2000s, and some very difficult decisions to be made. He's never wavered. He has been inspirational. He has been empowering. He has really taken the civil service to another level, and it's been the pleasure and honor of my life to be able to work in supporting him in his journey to create a world-class civil service. He sets a high bar, and he always manages to exceed his targets. But as he speaks about taking the civil service to even higher heights and doing an even better job, you will know firsthand, sir, just what a tall order that is. But his confidence in me and the tremendous outpouring from the civil service and across the community has been very much my anchor as I go forward.
Excellent. We're going to take a commercial break. Governor, when we return, we see that both the designate and the deputy governor have gone down similar paths to a certain extent, and we want to talk about the fact that when they both qualified as lawyers, they chose to return to the civil service. You know, what is it in their that flows through their veins that brings them back to the civil service? No doubt they could have gone to the private sector and, like many out there, made millions and millions of dollars, but they both decided to forego that and chose to continue public service instead. So we want to talk about that as soon as we return from this commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Are you ready to be inspired? Calling all marketers, creatives, and visionaries. Join SIMPA's 12th annual marketing conference, Level Up, Marketing's New Formula, happening April 17th and 18th at Hotel Indigo. Discover the latest trends in marketing innovation, sharpen your skills in hands-on workshops, and connect with global industry leaders who are changing the game. Plus, celebrate the best of Cayman's marketing and creative professionals at the SIMPA Awards Gala, honoring the brightest minds in the field. Don't miss out. Secure your tickets now at simpa.ky.
Brought to you by the Department of Tourism, Airview Media, DART, Health City, Compass Media, Armada Films, Signs of Paradise, Caribbean Creations, the Department of Communications, and Radio Cayman.
You hear that the VEG program taking applications again? What that is? VEG, man! The Minister of Tourism's program that helping Caymanians create new tourism products and services.
Oh, I had heard about that, yeah. My friend was one of the successful applicants from the last round. I might apply for that still.
Nothing wrong, child. After you got great ideas for things tourists would love to buy, try so check out the website rcayman.ky/VEDGP for more information and apply.
I going to do that right now.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, we have in the studio with us this morning Governor of the Cayman Islands, Miss Jane Owen. I was feeling for words in terms of make sure I put the honorific there, as well. Also in the studio with us, Honorable Franz Manderson, the Deputy Governor of the Cayman Islands, and the Deputy Governor Designate, Miss Gloria-McField-Nixon. Of course, we're talking about the announcement that was made in relation to the choice of the new Deputy Governor. When Mr. Manderson was in the studio with us talking about the 5K.
That's right.
He did say, in a few weeks you will hear. Yes. In a few weeks. He didn't give any more details, than that as well. So, Governor, the choice of both the current Deputy Governor and the Deputy Governor Designate to forego a legal career in the private sector and return to the civil service, to the public service where they got their first start. Highly commendable. What is it about public service that you believe that attracted them?
Well, I guess what attracted them, you better ask them. But as a sort of long-standing civil servant myself, I think there's kind of three elements that are quite interesting to consider. I think very often it's really important for people to have that sense of commitment to the community. It is kind of a vocation, and I'm sure if you ask a lot of people around our civil service teams, they would say the same thing. They feel that they really want to give back, which is something that both DG and DGD, Deputy Governor Designate, have both referred to. I think there's also, though, something very fulfilling and rewarding about being a civil servant, just in terms of the great breadth of stuff that you deal with on a daily basis, and feeling that you have to juggle so many different priorities, whether it's health one day, education, security, environment, development, infrastructure, people issues. It is a vastly varied sort of career that I think brings a special sort of fulfillment. And of course, you can go from looking after HR one day to looking after education or security another day. So you can really jump around, which I think is particularly attractive to people joining the service. And then I think the third thing, though, along with the commitment and the willingness to give back, there is a real energy and a real determination and aspirational aspect about what is the change you want to make. And if you want to make a change and transform your country and help it to continue to grow in an uncertain world, you probably need to be in the public sector. Or Honourable Premier would probably say you could be in politics as well, which is, of course, also true. But, to have that aspiration, and I think both Franz and Gloria have absolutely always had that, and it's vital.
Okay, we have a message from one of our listeners, and I also want to say that the phone lines are open now if you want to call in and give some short comments to the governor or the deputy governor or the deputy governor designate as well. Meanwhile, one of our listeners has taken that opportunity and said, "Good morning, Honorable Governor, Deputy Governor, and Deputy Governor designate. It is truly wonderful news to learn of the appointment of Mrs. McField-Nixon as Deputy Governor. Having had the privilege of working with her, I can say with confidence that she is an exceptional leader, one who empowers, inspires, and leads with integrity. There is no doubt that she will bring strong, steady leadership to her new role, and the service will be in very good hands under her guidance. I also extend sincere thanks to Mr. Manderson. He can retire with peace of mind, knowing that the civil service remains in capable hands with Mrs. McField-Nixon's appointment." I want to thank that.
Yes, thank you
for that as well. I believe we have a call coming in on the WhatsApp number, Miss Susan. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record WhatsApp number. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. O'Connor.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Okay. Good morning to Deputy Governor, Mr. Franz Manderson.
Good morning.
Yeah, and the Governor.
Morning.
And the new Deputy Governor, Miss Gloria.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I think you are the right choice too. And I'd just like to say to Franz, thank you for all you did for the Caymanian people.
Thank you, sir.
Working with the civil service, and you come a long ways, man. And I don't know if you have any grandchildren, but if you do, spend as much time as you can.
Not yet. That's hopefully soon, sir. I can be a real present grandfather. Yes, like I had. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that, actually. Not putting too much pressure on my children. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's the best thing you can do in your retirement, man. Spend plenty of time with your grandchildren.
So that is really the plan. My mom is with me still, and we just celebrated her 83rd birthday about 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So I want to spend as much time with her as possible. Like Miss Gloria, I am the product of a single mother family, and I owe her so much for all of the sacrifices that she made, all of the training and advice that she instilled in me from early on has really helped me to be where I am today. So spending time with her now is going to be a real priority for me.
Thank you.
And,
sorry, go ahead.
Try to find as much time as you can go bathe in the sea too, man.
So that's a great idea. Actually, my wife said that to me a couple of days ago. We can go some beach walks in the morning and go in the sea. Maybe I'll see the governor when I walk across her house. But yeah, that's a brilliant idea. And I look forward to spending more time with my friends. I grew up in West Bay. I have a really core group of friends there that I haven't really spent enough time with, and I really want to do that as well. You must never forget the people that were your friends when you were 14 years old. So I want to be able to do that as well. But thank you for your words, sir. It's been a really great pleasure to serve for all of these years.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. We're going to take our last commercial break. Time goes so quickly in the studio. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Spring forward and save 20% on GE appliances. All throughout the month of April, enjoy 20% savings on GE appliances across a wide range of categories. Washers and dryers, refrigerators, cooking, dishwares, and wine and beverage coolers. Have you been thinking about replacing or upgrading your appliances? Now is the perfect time to shop and save. Take advantage of the GE appliances Spring Forward sale happening now at Brand Source Home Gallery. Enjoy 20% off America's #1 most reliable appliance brand. But don't wait! Offer ends April 30. Visit Brand Source at 209 Dorsey Drive Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
TCE Paint Shop, your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams paint store, has some exciting news to share with their loyal customers, friends, and the wider Cayman Islands community. Coming Saturday, April 11th, there will be a grand opening of their new and improved store on 13 Eastern Avenue. This will be an event you don't want to miss. It will be the new home of Sherwin-Williams paints, supplies, and accessories. Come celebrate with the team. Witness the ribbon cutting at 9 a.m. Enjoy refreshments and take advantage of their special product discount prices. Spend $25 or more and get a chance to spin for the big drawing at 12 noon. TCE Paint Shop, new and improved location, coming soon. Call 943-0565.
Are you ready to be inspired? Calling all marketers, creatives, and visionaries. Join SIMPA's 12th annual marketing conference, Level Up, Marketing's New Formula, happening April 17th and 18th at Hotel Indigo. Discover the latest trends in marketing innovation, sharpen your skills in hands-on workshops, and connect with global industry leaders who are changing the game. Plus, celebrate the best of Cayman's marketing and creative professionals at the SIMPA Awards Gala, honoring the brightest minds in the field. Don't miss out. Secure your tickets now at simpa.ky.
Brought to you by the Department of Tourism, Airview Media, DART, Health City, Compass Media, Armada Films, Signs of Paradise, Caribbean Creations, the Department of Communications, and Radio Cayman.
Hi, this is Michael Webster, longtime supporter and sponsor of Radio Cayman. I'd like to say a big happy 50th anniversary to Radio Cayman. I remember 30 plus years ago listening to my grandfather Roy Bodden playing country music and bluegrass music on Radio Cayman. Happy 50th anniversary.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, and if you're joining us now, pretty late, but we do have in the studio with us Governor Jane Owen, Deputy Governor Mr. Franz Manderson, and Deputy Governor Designate Miss Gloria-McField-Nixon. We're talking about the recruitment process, the choice of Miss Gloria-McField-Nixon as the next Deputy Governor of the Cayman Islands. One of our listeners has written and said, this milestone is a true reflection of Miss Gloria's unwavering commitment, dedication, and years of hard work. Her accomplishment stands as a powerful inspiration to women and young ladies everywhere who look up to you. You have shown through your example what determination, resilience, and excellence can achieve. We are both privileged and proud to witness your success and celebrate this moment with you. Your journey is a testament to what is possible, and your impact will continue to inspire generations to come. Wishing you continued success as you take on this important role. DG Franz, thank you for all your years of dedicated service. And they say, ask me to please read this if possible. I would not have missed the opportunity to read this, even if it meant going over the time for the show this morning. So, Governor.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
So, Governor, lots more things to be done, preparations in terms of, Miss Gloria. What do we say? Doing the circuit as well. Probably, I think there was some mention of traveling off to the UK as well, and I would imagine also networking with colleague DGs within overseas territories, as well. Can you talk some about that?
Yes, certainly. The reason why I really wanted to get on and make sure that we made the appointment relatively early on was that it would give us some time with the new DG designate to make sure that they had a good amount of time to prepare for the role. So this is great. We're now in fairly early April. Miss Gloria will not be taking over until the 8th of July. That's a very important date for everyone to remember. Yes. And so I shall be working very closely with DG and indeed Miss Gloria to figure out what are the most useful things to do. in Cayman, reaching out, obviously, with the civil service, but well beyond the civil service, building the relationships that are already there with our political cadre, but obviously deepening those. We will certainly make a trip to the UK. I've already been talking to colleagues in London about what that might entail, but I think that's very important to cement this relationship and to carry on the legacy that DG has created in terms of a great partnership with Britain.
Mm-hmm. I believe we do have another caller on WhatsApp. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to our governor, our
Morning.
deputy governor, and to our very, very first Caymanian deputy governor.
Female Caymanian.
Yeah, female. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd like to say, on behalf of my family and myself, to Gloria, congratulations. We are proud of you. Mr. Connor said it earlier. I'm not sure that he was ahead of us because we were leading the pack. You had our vote, and I can admit this now that if you didn't get this job, there was going to be a protest. So, I know you're going to do well. I've had the distinct pleasure of knowing you on a personal level as well as a professional level, and I'm actually emotional. I'm just so proud. And so, to Mr. Manderson, please enjoy your retirement. And like your previous caller said, you think you know what love is. You don't know until you've gotten grandchildren.
Yeah, thank you.
You'll come back on Monday and you'll say to Mr. Connor, now I know.
Okay.
So enjoy your retirement.
Thank you, Mom.
Please do not work more during your retirement because people think when you have retired, you have nothing to do. But unfortunately, you know, those of us who retire, we find that we have so much more to do than when we were actually being picked. So please.
Great advice, Mom. Thank you.
Okay, and if I was able, I would invite you to come and run with me. But you know, those days are over.
Yeah. Thank you very much, caller, for that.
Thank you, Mom.
So, Governor, your job isn't over. Of course, Miss Gloria will, by becoming the deputy governor, will leave a vacant spot as well. So, another opportunity for someone to climb the civil service ladder as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be done in the normal way, and it certainly will not be me doing the recruitment for that. So I hand over to DG for that one.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Connor. As the governor said, we have been planning this for a while to ensure smooth transition. So, Ms. Gloria, tickets have been bought already to go to Bermuda in June for the heads of public service conference there. All of the DGs are meeting in Bermuda.
Okay.
So I informed them yesterday. They're very excited. They all have sent their well wishes to Ms. Gloria. So that meeting will happen in June, and we'll travel over together. It'll give me an opportunity to say goodbyes to my colleague DGs and then to introduce Ms. Gloria. And then in relation to her successor, so I'm going to do exactly what Mr. Eubanks did for me. We will run the recruitment. Obviously, only the deputy governor can appoint a chief officer. But I will take some vacation and let Ms. Gloria ask the governor to appoint Ms. Gloria as acting DG so that she can make that appointment. It has to be her person. I don't want to select someone for her. Mr. Eubanks did that for me, and I selected some chief officers posts who I'm now working with today. So it's very important that Ms. Gloria gets an opportunity to choose her successor. That's going to be the person who she works with on a daily basis. I had the opportunity of choosing my chief officers, and now she will have the opportunity to do the same.
And is this the process that you employed throughout the civil service in terms of appointments, so that the substantive post holder has a say in terms of those persons that they will be working with?
Yeah. So if a chief officer vacancy comes up, then the deputy governor makes the appointment. If obviously with Ms. Gloria, she would have hopefully would have been working with all those persons. So she then would make a decision. If a deputy chief officer role comes up, which will happen, if maybe a deputy chief officer becomes chief officer, then we will have a recruitment, and then that chief officer will appoint their deputy. So a lot has to happen between now and July to make sure that come the 8th of July, the entire team is in place. But that will follow the normal civil service process.
Excellent. And Governor, I know a lot of our listeners are curious about the fact that the deputy governor acts in your stead, in your absence, from the island as well, which means that they then become His Majesty's representative. So Mr. Manderson can speak to this because he's already been through it. But from a governor's standpoint, what does that usually entail?
Well, it basically means what the name implies, that the deputy governor becomes the acting governor and therefore takes on all of the responsibilities of the governor, and that is how it's set out in the Constitution, and it's right and proper that should be the case. So whenever I go off the island, I always have to make sure with DG that we are coordinating effectively, because I cannot go off the island really unless DG is around, and then he would take on all of the responsibilities. So decisions, signing off things, representational duties, chairing cabinet, very importantly. So the whole role passes to the acting governor at that point.
Now, this one is a little touchy, but the question of loyalty, comes into a certain extent, because you're Caymanians have expectations of you, but at the same time, you're the king's representative as well. How do you deal with that?
Well, I think it's an issue that I guess you live it every day as governor. I feel it myself as well. Obviously, I have loyalty to the UK, but I feel I have a very high degree of loyalty to Cayman as well. And I think you just have to find a way. And the only way to make a success of it is to have a partnership. So working with DG, working with Honourable Premier, working with whoever it is you're having a conversation with, you're both trying to do the best thing for Cayman within the parameters of the constitutional setup that we've got. And actually, I've found in 99.9% of cases, it's absolutely doable.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, we want to give each one of you an opportunity for some closing comments. Only in this instance, Ms. Gloria, that you will be the first, but there are many occasions when you will have the last word as well. But we'll start with you, Ms. Gloria.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Connor, again, for this opportunity to come in this morning. I want to just express my sincere thanks to Her Excellency the Governor for her vote of confidence in her selection of me as the Deputy Governor Designate. I want to just pay my respects publicly to Mr. Manderson. He has been a tremendous Deputy Governor. The sacrifices that he has made throughout his year, first is in the Immigration Department, which you know too well, did not keep 9 to 5 hours, but he has, throughout his career, really demonstrated just his stellar leadership and his passion. And what has stood out most in his leadership over these many years is that across the civil service, if you ask civil servants about Mr. Manderson, they will all say he cares. Yeah. I commit to caring for your team, sir, as you are exiting the organization. I understand that is so much of the job, is to make sure that other people have the support that they need to fulfill the vast amount of interaction support that are necessary to keep Cayman Islands standing tall in the world. As I take up this position, the tremendous outpouring of support, I would run into people everywhere who would say, I voted for you. And I kept reminding them, that's not quite how this job works. Yeah. But I'm so grateful. The expression from so many women who've told me that they've been praying for me. And whenever someone said, I prayed for you, I said, now that I encourage. I thank you, and I ask you never to stop. I realized that I'm coming to this position following following on the heels of many women who paved the way, from our first female national hero, the Honourable Sybil McLaughlin, who was the first woman to hold the position of Clerk of Parliament across our entire Commonwealth. The Honourable Edna Moyle and the Honourable Juliana O'Connor Conley, who were women who helped me feel comfortable in my acting stints when I was in Parliament, and who always told me that women had a place in our House of Parliament. To the tremendous outpouring of support, my amazing mentors in my career. I've heard from past chief secretaries. The Honourable James Ryan gave me a call just yesterday, which brought me to tears. There's just been such tremendous outpouring of support, and my pledge is to do everything that is within my being to continue to make these islands proud, not just of myself, but of this office. This office, as you've just alluded to, Mr. Connor, is so important. The office of Deputy Governor is that bridge between the United Kingdom and the Cayman Islands, the highest voice within our civil service to inspire and to advocate for our civil service, and the position that is entrusted to deliver on successive governments' political priorities. I pledge to our current Premier, who has been just a tremendous advocate and supporter, that is my endeavor to continue to ensure the civil service delivers against the priorities of the government, and that we make lives better across these islands.
Thank you. And again, congratulations. DG?
Yes, well, again, thank you, Governor. I think Governor has made us all very proud.
Yes.
And the whole Cayman Islands is buzzing because of the decision that Her Excellency made. People kept asking me, Franz, who's your successor? I said, it's the Governor's decision. Let her do her job, and she will make us proud. Governor, thank you. Thank you. We are all excited here today. I just want to go back to what Ms. Gloria was saying. First of all, is that so many people have played a key role in our success, and I want to also mention Mr. James Ryan as well, who is not well, as we know. I have visited him a number of occasions, but he was instrumental. Mr. Connor, you will recall, I had a decision to make: become Chief Immigration Officer or go to Walker's, and I said, sir, if you let me go to Walker's and you keep the position, I'll come back. And he said, okay, Franz, I'm going to hold you to that. But he was willing to hold a position open for me for a year so that I could go and get my legal training. And it's that legal training that has helped me become successful as a DG. So, Mr. Ryan, thank you so much for all that you have done for me and the people of the Cayman Islands. Give credit to Mr. McCarthy as well. Mr. Hurlston, all of the fellow past chief secretaries who laid the foundation for me to be here. Again, I'm so proud of Ms. Gloria, and I have no doubt that she's going to be an outstanding deputy governor. This is a great day for Cayman. It's a great day for our government. It's a great day for the civil service, and we should all be very proud. And I ask the public, please give Ms. Gloria all of the support that she needs. It is a difficult job. It is challenging, but it's the best job in the world. With one stroke of the pen, you can make someone's life better. You can make a Caymanian's life better. You can allow someone to achieve something that they never thought was possible. That's the role of the DG. And that's one of the benefits of being the deputy governor. And I have no doubt she's going to do it exceptionally well. So thank you, sir.
Okay, and there's a song, Governor, women are going to rule this country. Final words from you, Governor.
Well, again, my huge congratulations to Miss Gloria, and of course, massive thanks and respect to Honourable DG for everything that he does. I feel very confident in the appointment because I feel it will enable us to continue to build. It's very clear that we will need to do new things, go to new heights, but it's all on the basis of the very strong foundations that Honourable DG Franz Manderson has laid, and therefore I feel there's a great deal of stability about all the new ambition that will come in. It is a very, very important role. I would echo what Miss Gloria has said about that. We shouldn't forget it. It is the role which brings together the force of the civil service to deliver. It's a role that reaches out across the political firmament. It's important in the Constitution in terms of the relationship. It's an incredibly important role for me. It is the role that gives me advice and guidance and makes sure that we work effectively in partnership. So this is indeed a great day and a very important day looking to the future. Congratulations again.
Certainly. And one more message. We've heard a lot this morning of the value that mentors play in the development of young persons. Please push the agenda for more mentorship for marginalized youth in Cayman. That's coming from
Very good.
one of our listeners as well. So again, I want to thank all of you for being here this morning. Again, congratulations to Miss Gloria. Look forward to seeing you in the studio more often as well. We know that you're going to be busy preparing yourself, for this role to the extent that you need preparation, because you have acted in the position before. You have been within that environment, and we know that whatever you do, you do it certainly to the greatest extent. You're a perfectionist, and you are a mover and a shaker as well. You will get things done. So we look forward to your stewardship, and of course to the governor being here until 2027, as well. So folks, I want to thank all of you who shared in the congratulations this morning, all of your kind comments as well. Don't forget, we are our brothers and our sisters keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and we request that you extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then you should donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So have a great day. Continue to support your radio station. Join Charles Glidden Chalo at 12:15 for Talk Today. And yes, the DG's 5K, we know that you want to know about that, but give Miss Gloria an opportunity to settle in, and she will make decisions in relation to that as well. There's no doubt that it will continue, whether or not it will be in honor and be called the Franz Manderson's 5K challenge or what, but we'll get to that story later on. So folks, have a great day, have a great weekend, and as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
One radio station. Radio Cayman is